everybody, this is Josh again, and we are looking at the Maz 18 Dr. Z Amplitude 3 amplifier. It's a pretty sweet amplifier, really basic 7 knobs. You got your volume, which acts as a gain, your treble, middle, bass, which are really nice, ironically, I guess, smooth EQ. We could look at that in a second. They're really smooth for being amp EQs. For anyone that's ever used a tube amplifier, they're a lot more subtle in some amplifiers. These are really, I wouldn't go as far as say surgical, but they're they're just really smooth. There's a reverb, which sounds excellent. Again, if it were loud, you'd be able to hear it. I'll turn it up a bit. A really nice spring reverb sound. That sounds like an actual spring reverb, which a bunch of these amps in Amplitude have. It's a great. Then you have your low pass filter. So basically, it'll curl the high end, kind of make it a little less harsh on the ears. And then your master, which is actually the main volume for this, which will actually drive the room that we're going to see in a little bit. So if we were to just look at the amplifier, it's really clean. As you can tell, I have the master dialed back a bit and the volume up a good amount. And then it's not really breaking up. I'm on the bridge position. I'm going to do the rest of this review in the bridge position. But if I were to bring this down and bring up the master volume, I'm going to go to the single coil. I lied before. I'm not a guitar player professionally, so if you don't like my playing, well, change the channel. Anyway, we're back, and we're going to just fiddle around with this a little bit more. I'm going to play with the controls as we listen to this clip. If I were to take it off record enable. So there you go. We just went through the majority of the controls. Let's listen to the cab here. So we're going to go through the way that this is set up for all the Amplitude amps is that you have your cabinet here. I have a 1x12. I have my 2 microphones in this case, a U87 and a SM57 clone, I guess you would want to call it. And then we basically have the way it interacts with the one speaker. You can move it farther from right in front of it, move it around. We're going to give a listen to exactly what that's doing to the signal. So if you were listening, you're really going to hear that it's essentially just kind of an EQ. It's moving in and out of phase of the 57, and it's more of like a filter that's really going on with these. It sounds pretty good, but again, nothing crazy that you wouldn't be able to do with some crazy surgical EQ. But it's a really welcome tool and sounds pretty good. You could blend between the 2 microphones, pan them, move them around, and then select from their plethora of other ones. And then we could jump down here to the next feature in this cab section is the room. You could choose from, I believe, 5 rooms. Put the mics in and out of phase, and then you have your 2 room mics. Move them closer or further from the amplifier. So let's give that a listen. So again, we could really tell that it is doing something, and the room is actually a decent room. It's not terrible, and it sounds kind of like a room does. You could blend it into the 1 amp signal. Again, but it's good to point out that when you drive your master on the amp, it'll really impact what's in quotes, this room. And these two masters are not the same. This master is a global master for the whole of the plugin. So you're able to bring this down and the entire volume goes down, not what's being fed into this room. So just kind of think of it as you would a regular amplifier, and you'll be just fine. Again, the front, and what I'd like to do is check out some of the plugin Stomp Boxes that come with this application, with this plugin. So it's a Stomp Box that comes in a plugin. So let's go ahead and check that out. What I did is that just put in their overdrive pedal. I brought down the level and the drive by a substantial amount and left the tone the same from when you first bring it up. So let's go ahead and give that a listen. Again, record enable would be nice. You can hear the hiss. So that sounds driven, but let's go ahead and do a little more with it. I'm going to bring down the master, bring up the gain, as I like to call it, bring that up a good bit, and then make it a little brighter. Let's go ahead and put it into humbucker mode. I'm going to go ahead and back down the volume a good bit. Again, that reverb is so sweet. But you could really hear that this is a decently transparent amp. If you were to put an analog or a digital pedal, it really brings out the sound of the amplifier, the sound of the tubes, that nice chime. All in all, it's a pretty sweet amplifier. Definitely worth the price if you're looking for a very well modeled amplifier. The good thing about these is that as they don't sound incredible by themselves, they really sit well in a mix. There's not a ton that you'd need to do, just kind of some tucking, but there isn't a ton to do. You just kind of play these over, and then they just sound good in terms of a mix. Very, very happy with it. And watch the next video while I review the other amp. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.